All right, let's talk about something we've all been through. You're trying to get a ride, you open an app, and bam, surge pricing. Or maybe you've wondered, hey, how much of my money is the driver actually taking home? Well, if that sounds familiar, you're going to want to hear this. We're diving into a new government-backed app called Bharat Taxi, and it might just be a total game changer for how we all get around.
So let's just park on that question for a second. Seriously, think about it. When you pay for that ride, what chunk of it actually makes it to the person doing the driving? It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer? Well, it's not so simple. And understanding that answer is exactly why something like Bharat Taxi has even been created.
Okay, so here's how we're going to break this down. First, we'll look at the old model, what we're all used to. Then we'll get into this cooperative alternative. We'll unpack that zero commission thing, see what it means for drivers, what it means for you, the rider, and then we'll look at the big picture. Could this change the entire gig economy? All right, first up, the old model. Let's take a quick look at the status quo. I mean, for years now, right? Our cities have been all about a couple of big ride-hailing apps. Super convenient, yeah, but let's be honest, their whole business model has created some pretty big headaches for, both the drivers and us, the passengers.
And really, it all boils down to two major pain points. First, for the drivers, it's the commission. We're talking a huge slice of the pie, sometimes 30, even 40% taken right off the top of every fare. Then for us, the riders, it's that dreaded surge pricing. You know the drill. It starts to rain, or it's rush hour, and suddenly your usual ride costs 2 or 3 times as much. It's totally unpredictable.
Okay, so that brings us to Section 2, a cooperative alternative. Enter Bharat Taxi. Now this is important. This isn't just some new app with a fresh coat of paint. No, this is built on a totally different idea, a whole new foundation, really. It's designed specifically to fix those two big problems we just talked about. It's all about being a cooperative.
So, cooperative, what does that actually mean in this context? Well, think of it like this. It's an organization that's owned and controlled by its members. And in this case, the members are the drivers. So instead of a big corporation calling the shots to make profits for investors, the drivers themselves own the platform. The whole point is to benefit the people actually doing the work.
And this chart really puts it all side by side. Look at this. With Bharat Taxi, you've got driver-owned ownership, zero commission, no surge pricing, and government backing. Compare that to the private apps, corporate-owned, that massive 30 to 40% commission, dynamic surge pricing, and all funded by private investors. It's like night and day, right? Two completely different philosophies at play.
All right, let's get into the most radical part of this whole thing, the zero commission difference. I mean, how does that even work? When the entire industry is built on taking a cut, how can you just not? Let's figure it out.
There it is, 0%. Let that sink in. For a driver, this is absolutely massive. It's a game changer. Imagine, just like that, getting a 30 or 40% raise on every single ride, instantly. It's no wonder so many drivers are paying attention to this.
So how is this possible? Okay, here's the flow. Step 1, you, the rider, pay your fare. It's a clear, upfront price. Step 2, 100% of that fare goes directly to the driver, or the Sarathi. 100%. So where does the platform make money? That's step 3. The driver pays a tiny flat daily fee. We're talking just 30 rupees a day for a cab or 18 for an auto. That's it. It's predictable, and it means the drivers keep almost everything they earn.
And that financial model, it's really just one piece of a much bigger idea. This section is all about empowering the driver. The whole philosophy here is to change the driver from just being a gig worker to being a true owner. And this is their guiding principle, Sarathi Hi Malik, which basically means the driver is the owner. This isn't just a nice marketing phrase, it's the real deal. It goes right back to that cooperative structure. Drivers aren't just cogs in a machine, they're actual stakeholders. They have a voice, and they share in the success.
And it's not just about the money from fares. They're actually building a proper social safety net here. I mean, look at this list. We're talking health insurance, accident coverage, even a retirement plan, things that gig workers usually have to worry about on their own. Plus, they have real driver support, and get this, no exclusivity. Drivers can still use other apps if they want to. That's a huge deal.
And have drivers responded? Oh yeah. Over 300,000 of them signed up, and that's just during the pilot phase. So this isn't some abstract theory. This is real. Drivers are showing up in massive numbers.
which tells you there's a huge demand for a system that actually treats them fairly.
Okay, so we've established it's a great deal for drivers, but let's be real. You're probably asking, what's in it for me? How does all this driver-focused stuff actually make my ride any better? Well, it turns out the benefits for riders are pretty awesome too. Here it is. The #1 perk for riders: no more surge pricing. That's right. With Bharat Taxi, the fare you're quoted is the fare you pay. Period. No more watching the price jump around based on what time it is. It's predictable, it's transparent, and it's just fairer.
And this chart really paints the picture. That really tall bar, that's what a ride can look like on another app when surge pricing kicks in. Now look at the others. Even compared to a normal fare, the Bharat Taxi fare can be 20 to 30% cheaper. Because when you take out the surge and the giant commission, the cost for the customer just naturally comes down. It's that simple.
So let's step back for a second and look at the bigger picture. Is this just about taxis, or could this be the start of a whole new gig economy? A successful Bharat Taxi could send shockwaves through the entire system, really challenging how platform work works.
And we're not just dreaming here. The pilot program already has the numbers to back this up. Check this out. Over 3 lakh drivers jumped on board. More than 1 lakh users gave it a try. They're doing over 10,000 rides a day. And this number, 10 crore rupees? That's how much money has already gone straight into the drivers' pockets. This proves it's not just a feel-good idea. It's a model that can actually work.
Which leads us to the final massive question. We've seen it works for drivers, we've seen it works for riders, so could this be the blueprint? Could this cooperative, worker-owned model be the future for food delivery, for home services, for the entire gig economy? Could it redefine work for literally millions of people? That is the big question we're left with. So what do you think? I'm curious to hear from you. Is this Bharat Taxi model, zero commission, no surge, enough to get you to switch apps? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And hey, if you found this useful, do me a favor and hit that like button and share it around. Thanks for tuning in.